Now, I'm not going to stand here and pretend that tariffs are good news. That is not true, and you wouldn't believe me if I said it. But just as we've seen recently on defence and security across Europe and with Ukraine, they do make one thing very clear, and that is that the world is changing and we as a country must change with it.
Yeah.
You started the morning saying be cool, and then just a few hours later there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through your thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents, they wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, you know, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also, but somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, you know, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal.
Trade was to the benefit of no one. And that is why in the UK we are keeping cool heads and remaining pragmatic. We will always act in our country's national interest for jobs and to support British business. And that's what we will continue to do whilst we have ongoing discussions with our counterparts in the United States. We don't want to see an escalation of tariffs. We want to do a deal that supports the UK economy. The fiscal rules of this government are non-negotiable for a simple reason. Stability is absolutely essential to give families and businesses certainty. We saw what happened when the previous government lost control of the public finances. So we will stick to those fiscal rules as we did when I delivered the spring statement just 2 weeks ago. Yes, those fiscal rules, as we set out in our manifesto, as we've continued to say, are non-negotiable because they are the bedrock of the stability and security that families and businesses need.
Our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
Thanks, Ange. And can I just start by saying thanks to all of you for being here. It's really fantastic to see you all here representing the jobs that you're all doing, the different walks of life, and having the community here with us this morning is really special and really important. So thank you for giving up your time to be with us this morning. I really, really appreciate it on what is a really good day, an important announcement. And it needs to be put in its context because you will all appreciate that the world is changing. And I think we've felt that very much more in recent weeks and months than we've felt for a very long time. The world is changing around us. But this government is ambitious for Britain, what we can do in Britain. Now, I'm not going to stand here and pretend that tariffs are good news. That is not true. And you wouldn't believe me if I said it. But just as we've seen recently on defence and security across Europe and with Ukraine, they do make one thing very clear, and that is that the world is changing and we as a country must change with it. In other words, we've got to rise to the moment here, recognise where our future lies, renew Britain and deliver security for working people. And that's why we've taken the decision to accelerate our plans to create wealth in every community. And every community is really important here because wealth has got to be across every part of the United Kingdom. We are not a government that is just going to sit back and hope. I strongly believe that is how politics has failed our communities for so many years, because in the past, politics has tried to manage crises, and that has only led to managed decline. What we've got to do, what we're offering, is fundamental change, rewiring the state completely, ripping up regulation that stops it being a force for good, building new homes, new towns, and new infrastructure, using industrial policy to unlock the potential of every community in this country. And towns like Doncaster are absolutely vital in our plan for change. And Doncaster's a place I know really well because my wife's mum grew up in Doncaster, just looking over the racecourse there. That's why my wife loves racehorsing, by the way, is because it's in her family blood from this racecourse right here. And as a child, she used to come up to Doncaster all the time with her mum to see her extended family. And that's why we brought out and do bring our children up to Doncaster as part of our family history. And so getting towns like this to grow, putting more money in your pocket, that's the biggest thing that we can do to take control of our own future. And for decades now, this town, this region, the people of the north have been, in my view, underestimated. Your ambition, your ingenuity, your pride has not been backed. Governments have either failed to deliver, that's what happened with levelling up, or ignored you completely, and that's what the Tories normally do. Or they've believed you can't control your own destiny. Well, no more. We're going to back you. We're going to give you the power to shape your future. And devolution is critical here. You saw that in the spring statement earlier this year, a massive investment in transport across the Trans-Pennine region. And I do not want to give you the impression that Westminster politicians can decide your future better than you can. We've seen where that leads with levelling up. That's why devolution is so important, because those with skin in the game make the best decisions about their community. And that's what I mean about rewiring the state. We're going to rebalance power, control, and destiny back in communities. A politics that's more about partnership with you, not to you. And that's why I'm really delighted to back the Mayor's plans for Doncaster Airport. This airport has sat idle for years. What a waste, as this community's had to watch that, their airport, sitting empty. That's not just a huge missed opportunity. It's a question of history and pride and place. The first female RAF jet pilot trained right here. That's history. It's got the potential to drive growth right across the north, especially obviously here in Doncaster. So we're backing the Mayor's plans, backing this region, a sustainable aviation hub in South Yorkshire, giving a lift-off for growth here in Doncaster. And I want to thank Lee for all the hard work that he's put in to make this happen. A fantastic local Member of Parliament delivering change for his constituents. And thanks to Ros Jones, the Mayor of Doncaster, who's campaigned relentlessly for reopening this airport. And I can tell you she's never missed an opportunity to tell me how important this is. Like every single time I've seen Ros, it's been a version of the same conversation. And quite right too, because that's what local representatives should do. They should champion their causes and their communities. And so what will this produce? 5,000 good, well-paying, secure jobs in the region, putting money in the pockets of working people and giving young people who want to contribute an opportunity in their community. And that's the difference that we can make together. Wages are now going up faster than prices. Inflation is coming down. Business investment is the highest for 20 years. NHS waiting lists have come down for 5 months in a row. And that's during the winter. Living standards are going up. We're going to be £500 better off, so says the OBR. More money in people's pockets. The potential for this region backed, and our future very much in our hands, securing our future with a clear plan for change. So thank you so much for being with us on what is a really important day for Doncaster, for the region and for the country. I'm very proud to be here with you this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?